Welcome! Today, we're diving into the world of state statutes. You might have heard the term before, but what exactly does it mean? State statutes are laws that are passed by a state's legislative body, such as a state legislature or assembly. These laws govern a wide range of issues, from criminal offenses to business regulations, and even matters like education and transportation. Understanding state statutes is essential because they directly impact the daily lives of everyone living within that state. In this video, we'll break down what state statutes are, how they're created, and most importantly, who is responsible for enforcing them. Let's get started by exploring the basics. A statute is a formal written law enacted by a legislative body. In the context of state statutes, this means laws that are specifically created and passed by a state's legislature. These statutes are distinct from federal laws, which are made by the United States Congress, and from local ordinances, which are passed by city or county government. State statutes cover a broad spectrum of topics, including criminal law, civil rights, health regulations, and much more. They serve as the foundation for the legal system within each state, providing clear rules and guidelines for both individuals and organizations to follow. The process of creating a state statute begins with a proposal, often called a bill. This bill can be introduced by a member of the state legislature. Once introduced, the bill is reviewed, debated, and may be amended by various committees. If it passes through these stages, it is then voted on by the full legislative body. If the majority approves, the bill moves to the governor, who can sign it into law or veto it. If signed, the bill officially becomes a state statute and is added to the state's legal code. This process ensures that statutes are carefully considered before becoming law. It's important to distinguish between state statutes and federal statutes. While both are laws, they operate at different levels of government. State statutes apply only within the borders of a particular state and address issues specific to that state. Federal statutes, on the other hand, are enacted by Congress and apply across the entire country. Sometimes, state and federal laws may overlap, but in cases of conflict, federal law generally takes precedence due to the supremacy clause of the U.S. Constitution. Understanding this distinction helps clarify which laws apply in different situations. State statutes can cover a wide variety of topics. For example, traffic laws, such as speed limits and rules for obtaining a driver's license, are typically governed by state statutes. Other examples include criminal laws defining offenses like theft or assault, regulations for businesses operating within the state, and rules regarding marriage and divorce. Each state has its own set of statutes, so the laws can vary significantly from one state to another. This diversity allows states to address the unique needs and values of their residents. Once enacted, state statutes are organized into codes or collections, often grouped by subject matter. For instance, there may be separate codes for criminal law, civil law, health, and education. These codes make it easier for lawyers, judges, and the public to find and reference specific laws. States regularly update their codes to reflect new statutes or amendments to existing ones. This organization ensures that the legal system remains accessible and up to date for everyone who needs to use it. Enforcement of state statutes is a crucial part of the legal system. Various state agencies and officials are responsible for making sure these laws are followed. For criminal statutes, law enforcement agencies such as state police, county sheriffs, and local police departments play a primary role. For civil statutes, agencies like state departments of health, education, or labor may be tasked with enforcement. Courts also play a significant role by interpreting statutes and resolving disputes. Ultimately, enforcement ensures that the laws passed by the legislature have real-world impact. Law enforcement officers are on the front lines of enforcing state statutes, especially those related to criminal law. Police officers, sheriffs, and state troopers investigate crimes, make arrests, and ensure public safety. They have the authority to issue citations, conduct investigations, and detain individuals suspected of violating state statutes. Their work is guided by the statutes themselves, as well as by procedures and regulations set by their agencies. Law enforcement ensures that violations are addressed and that offenders are brought to justice. Beyond law enforcement, many state agencies and departments are tasked with enforcing specific statutes. For example, the Department of Motor Vehicles enforces statutes related to driving and vehicle registration. The Department of Health enforces health and safety regulations. These agencies have specialized knowledge and resources to ensure compliance within their areas of responsibility. They may conduct inspections, issue licenses, or impose fines for violations. Their work helps maintain order and protect public welfare across a range of sectors. State courts play a vital role in the enforcement of statutes. When disputes arise or when someone is accused of violating a statute, the courts interpret the law and determine the appropriate outcome. Judges may decide whether a statute applies in a particular case, and juries may determine guilt or innocence in criminal trials. Courts also have the power to resolve challenges to the validity of statutes, ensuring that laws comply with state and federal constitutions. This judicial oversight is essential for a fair and balanced legal system. Prosecutors and state attorneys are responsible for bringing criminal cases to court when state statutes are violated. They review evidence, file charges, and represent the state in legal proceedings. Their job is to prove that a defendant has broken a state law beyond a reasonable doubt. Prosecutors work closely with law enforcement to build cases and ensure that justice is served. Their role is critical in upholding the rule of law and maintaining public trust in the legal system. On the other side of the courtroom, public defenders and defense attorneys represent individuals accused of violating state statutes. Their job is to protect the rights of the accused and ensure a fair trial. They challenge the prosecution's evidence, present defenses, and advocate for their clients. This adversarial system helps ensure that the legal process is balanced and that justice is achieved. Defense attorneys play a key role in maintaining the integrity of the legal system. Citizens also play an important role in the enforcement of state statutes. By obeying the law, reporting violations, and serving as jurors, individuals help uphold the legal system. In some cases, citizens may be called upon to testify in court or provide information to law enforcement. Civic participation ensures that the law is not just a set of rules imposed from above, but a system that reflects the values and needs of the community. In addition to statutes, states often have administrative rules or regulations. These are detailed rules created by state agencies to implement and enforce statutes. For example, a statute may require businesses to obtain a license, while administrative rules specify the application process and requirements. Administrative rules have the force of law and are enforced by the agencies that create them. This system allows for flexibility and expertise in applying the law to specific situations. It's important to understand the difference between statutes and regulations. Statutes are laws passed by the legislature, while regulations are rules made by agencies to carry out those laws. Both have the force of law, but they originate from different sources. Statutes provide the broad framework, and regulations fill in the details. Together, they create a comprehensive legal system that addresses both general principles and specific situations. Another important aspect of the legal system is case law, which consists of court decisions interpreting statutes. When courts decide cases, they often clarify how statutes should be applied in specific situations. These decisions become precedents that guide future cases. Case law helps fill in gaps and resolve ambiguities in statutes, ensuring that the law is applied consistently and fairly. State statutes are not set in stone. Legislatures can amend or repeal statutes to reflect changing circumstances, new information, or shifts in public opinion. The amendment process is similar to the process for creating new statutes. A bill is introduced, debated, and voted on. If approved, the change becomes law. This flexibility allows the legal system to evolve and remain relevant over time. Sometimes, a statute may become outdated or unnecessary. In such cases, the legislature can repeal the statute, removing it from the state's legal code. The repeal process follows the same steps as passing a new law. Once repealed, the statute is no longer enforceable. This process ensures that the legal system remains efficient and free from obsolete or redundant laws. Not all statutes are accepted without question. Sometimes, individuals or groups may challenge a statute in court, arguing that it violates the state or federal constitution. Courts then review the statute and decide whether it is valid. If a court finds a statute unconstitutional, it can strike down the law, rendering it unenforceable. This judicial review is a key safeguard against unjust or overreaching laws. State statutes are public documents, meaning anyone can access and read them. Most states publish their statutes online, making it easy for citizens, businesses, and lawyers to stay informed about the law. Public access promotes transparency and accountability, ensuring that everyone knows their rights and responsibilities under the law. If you need to find a specific state statute, there are several resources available. State government websites often provide searchable databases of statutes. Public libraries and law libraries also offer access to legal codes. Legal professionals use these resources to research the law and advise clients. Knowing how to find and understand statutes is a valuable skill for anyone interested in the legal system. State statutes affect many aspects of daily life, often in ways we don't even notice. From the rules that govern driving and public safety, to regulations on businesses and schools, statutes shape the world around us. Understanding these laws helps us make informed decisions and stay on the right side of the law. It's a reminder that the legal system is not just for lawyers and judges, but for everyone. Violating a state statute can result in various penalties, depending on the nature of the law. Criminal statutes may lead to fines, probation, or even imprisonment. Civil statutes can result in lawsuits, monetary damages, or loss of licenses. The severity of the penalty usually reflects the seriousness of the violation. Penalties are designed to deter unlawful behavior and encourage compliance with the law. If someone believes they have been wrongly accused of violating a statute, they have the right to appeal. The appeals process allows higher courts to review the case and determine if the law was applied correctly. This process helps protect individuals from errors or injustices and ensures that the legal system operates fairly. In addition to state statutes, local governments can pass ordinances that apply within their city or county. These ordinances address issues like noise control, zoning, and local business regulations. While ordinances must comply with state statutes, they allow local governments to address specific community needs. Understanding the relationship between statutes and ordinances helps clarify which laws apply in different situations. Sometimes, state statutes and federal laws may address the same issue. In these cases, both sets of laws may apply, but federal law generally takes precedence if there is a conflict. This principle, known as federal preemption, ensures a consistent legal framework across the country. However, states can still pass laws in areas not covered by federal statutes, allowing for local flexibility. All state statutes must comply with both the state and federal constitutions. If a statute conflicts with constitutional rights or principles, courts can declare it invalid. This constitutional framework protects individual rights and ensures that laws reflect the fundamental values of society. The Constitution acts as the highest law, guiding the creation and enforcement of all other laws. Law enforcement officers receive extensive training on state statutes. This training ensures that officers understand the laws they are responsible for enforcing and know how to apply them correctly. Ongoing education helps officers stay up to date with changes in the law, promoting effective and lawful enforcement. Public awareness campaigns help educate citizens about important state statutes. These campaigns may focus on issues like public health, safety, or new laws that affect daily life. By increasing awareness, states encourage compliance and help prevent unintentional violations. Education is a key part of effective law enforcement. Technology plays an increasing role in the enforcement of state statutes. Law enforcement agencies use databases, surveillance tools, and digital records to investigate and enforce laws. Online access to statutes also makes it easier for citizens to stay informed. As technology evolves, so do the methods for enforcing and understanding the law. State statutes often reflect social change. As society evolves, legislatures may pass new statutes to address emerging issues, such as technology, health, or civil rights. Public input and advocacy can influence the creation and amendment of statutes, ensuring that the law keeps pace with changing values and needs. Businesses must comply with a wide range of state statutes, from licensing requirements to consumer protection laws. Failure to follow these statutes can result in fines, lawsuits, or loss of business licenses. Understanding and complying with state statutes is essential for operating a successful and lawful business. Education is another area heavily regulated by state statutes. These laws set standards for schools, teachers, and students, covering everything from curriculum requirements to school safety. State education departments enforce these statutes, ensuring that schools provide a safe and effective learning environment for all students. State statutes also regulate health and safety, including public health measures, medical licensing, and hospital regulations. State health departments enforce these laws to protect the well-being of residents. Compliance with health statutes is especially important during emergencies, such as disease outbreaks or natural disasters. Environmental protection is another area governed by state statutes. These laws address issues like pollution control, conservation, and land use. State environmental agencies enforce these statutes, working to preserve natural resources and promote sustainability for future generations. Transportation laws are another example of state statutes in action. These laws regulate driver licensing, vehicle registration, road safety, and public transportation systems. State transportation departments enforce these statutes to ensure safe and efficient travel for everyone. Family law statutes govern matters like marriage, divorce, child custody, and adoption. State courts and agencies enforce these laws to protect the rights and interests of families and children. Family law statutes reflect the values and priorities of each state, and enforcement ensures that families receive fair treatment under the law. State statutes also protect civil rights, including freedom from discrimination and equal access to public services. Civil rights agencies and courts enforce these laws, ensuring that everyone is treated fairly and equally. Civil rights statutes are a cornerstone of justice and equality in every state. Consumer protection statutes safeguard buyers from unfair or deceptive business practices. State consumer protection agencies investigate complaints, enforce regulations, and educate the public. These statutes help ensure a fair marketplace and protect consumers from harm. Employment statutes regulate workplace rights and responsibilities, including wages, safety, and discrimination. State labor departments enforce these laws, investigating violations and ensuring fair treatment for workers. Employment statutes help create safe and equitable workplaces for everyone. Property law statutes govern ownership, transfer, and use of real estate and personal property. State courts and agencies enforce these laws, resolving disputes and ensuring clear property rights. Property statutes provide stability and predictability in real estate and business transactions. Tax statutes set the rules for collecting state taxes, including income, sales, and property taxes. State tax agencies enforce these laws, collect revenue, and ensure compliance. Tax statutes fund essential public services like education, health, and infrastructure. Voting statutes regulate elections, voter registration, and ballot access. State election boards enforce these laws, ensuring fair and secure elections. Voting statutes protect the integrity of the democratic process and guarantee every eligible citizen the right to vote. Public safety statutes address issues like emergency response, disaster preparedness, and crime prevention. State emergency management agencies and law enforcement enforce these laws to protect communities and respond effectively to crises. Public safety statutes are essential for maintaining order and security. In summary, state statutes are the backbone of the legal system within each state. They govern nearly every aspect of life, from public safety and health to business and education. Enforced by a range of agencies, courts, and officials, these laws ensure order, protect rights, and reflect the values of the community. Understanding state statutes and who enforces them empowers us to be informed, responsible members of society. Thanks for joining us on this journey through the world of state statutes.